Hey guys, welcome back to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to have our first impressions of Era by Bleed From Within. So, I don't know too much about this band. We checked out the singles earlier, we checked out Alive, and we checked out Afterlife. We didn't hear the third one yet, but those are the two we checked out. We both enjoyed them, so we're like, okay, let's check out their new album that's coming out.
Yep.
So, got anything else to add?
Basically, I mean, again, I've known about this band for a while. I know they've been around for a while. Never really got too into them. I mean, there's an odd song here and there I might listen to, but I never picked up an album, never really dove in. This is gonna be the first time I actually focus on an album and give it a full solid chance. But like you said, we listened to the first two singles that they dropped. Both are really good, awesome songs. So I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna go listen to it for the first time in its entirety right now, and we'll be back to let you guys know our first impressions of Era. All right, guys, we're back. We just listened to Era in its entirety, 13 tracks of metalcore awesomeness. I'll take the floor here just really quickly. I just want to say the album starts off great. I was loving it. The first, let's see, 1, 2. Ooh.
1, 2.
You know what, honestly, the first two tracks are amazing. After that, it started to feel a little bit just kind of typical. Nothing was really reaching out and like getting my attention really, but it was still good. It was good and solid throughout the rest of it, but you know what? I don't want to really say too much right now. I want to let you kind of kick this off. I just wanted to get a couple thoughts out right at the beginning, but go ahead and tell me what you think.
I kind of have a similar sentiment to you, where the beginning was great. I'm like, yeah, I'm really digging this, and then the longer the album went on, the more things would start to thin out. Not saying that it's bad, I'm just saying some things got repetitive, and things didn't really jump out at me as much. Because something like Crown of Misery, I liked the contrast of the grooves between, you know, the verses and the chorus. I liked what was going on there. Jump forward to a song like Gatekeeper, and it's like, okay, this song is cool, but there's nothing really notable. There's nothing that's standing out to me as being notable. So the longer this album's going on, the less notes I'm writing. Even for a song like Alive, which, you know, kind of drew us into being interested in this album, I think maybe because of the fatigue from having so many tracks, it like, okay, the chorus is cool, but like, eh. Alive was still not bad. Like, none of these songs are really bad. It's just that from how long it goes, it just feels way too consistent.
I think part of it too is that every song has pretty much the exact same structure. Like, you know when the breakdowns are coming, you know where the bridges are. It just felt like the same song, just with slightly different riffs, slightly different drum beats, slightly different patterns, slightly different this. But it was the same structure over and over and over again, and that gets a little tedious.
One thing I would like to mention is that I Am Oblivion Part 2. Yes, Part 2. There's no Part 1 on this album. Part 1 was on their last album called Uprising.
Right.
I should go listen to that again and see if there's a direct correlation, like to see how similar they are between each other. But I Am Oblivion Part 2 was actually cool because it was a slow-paced song, so it really broke it down.
Yep.
And it was very, like, I don't want to say off-putting, but it was very, very deviant from everything else in the album, which was good. Like, I'm like, you know, we're listening to all these songs and they all kind of sound the same, and then this one comes on like, oh, okay.
Change of pace.
Exactly.
Change of pace helps.
Yes. Another thing to note about this album, there were multiple times where there would be an intro for a song at the end of the song before it.
Yeah.
Like, before Afterlife, Cast Down has like this little bit that happens that leads into Afterlife, which is effective because you don't want to put on a song, like if you're going to listen to something like metalcore, you don't want to put on a song and have to wait through a big intro.
Yeah.
So how about we have that as the outro, so that when you, like I said, I'm going to listen to Afterlife, boom, action's right there for you.
Yeah, and you can just skip the outro if you don't want to listen to it.
Exactly. So that is effective, and it happens a few times.
Yep.
At the end of Shiver it happens.
How'd you feel about the relationship between guitars and drums on this album? Because I felt like it's not something that stands out uniquely or anything like that, but I just felt like it was very well done on this album, where the guitars and the drums really complemented each other throughout this entire album.
Yeah, I saw a lot of syncopation between the two, which is something I love to hear in music. You know, the album started and it's doing that. I'm like, okay, this is good. I can vibe with this.
Yep.
You know, the bass is in there too. There are some small parts where the bass is featured, which I always like in music because I don't feel like bass gets enough love.
It doesn't.
And that was cool. So I did appreciate that. And with the drummer, there were some parts where I would hear like multiple grooves in the span of like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like not too much, but it felt like really fresh and did not really stale out. It's like, okay, he's doing a blast beat, now he's doing this, now he's doing this. Oh, it's like, oh my gosh, like it's really active.
He was busy. Yeah, very active.
Absolutely.
What about, I'll ask you again, what about breakdowns? Because I felt the breakdowns on this album they felt fresh to me. They felt like typical breakdowns in terms of like timing, like, you know, like just like kind of timing of a breakdown.
Yeah.
Very typical, but I guess stylistically, they felt different. They didn't feel like the typical breakdown that you'd hear in a metalcore song. They felt like there was something in them that made them a little bit newer.
When you compare it to a typical metalcore breakdown, it does stand out, and I feel that's because of the rhythms they were playing. They weren't playing generic something as basic as that. They were messing around with it, having some syncopation in their breakdowns, which was interesting. So that was something that did definitely stand out.
Yep. One more thing I'll mention is, like we said at the beginning, we're not that familiar with this band, so I'm not sure how much clean vocals they usually have, but clean vocals in metalcore is often something that throws me off, but they kept it to a bare minimum on this album.
Yeah, it's only
some choruses here and there, and it's not even that clean. I'm pretty sure there's like a harsh harmony with it in most cases, so I felt that was a good thing too. But overall, you know, my first impression is not bad.
Yeah.
But it wasn't great. The album, like we said, it got a little old, pretty fast. But you know, we're gonna see after listening to it for a week how it holds up, and we're gonna see. Hopefully, the second half of the album starts to come around, and we start noticing things and picking things out like we always like to do.
I feel like putting this album on shuffle is really gonna help with that. Like I feel like this is definitely an album that you can put on shuffle and it'll work.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm definitely gonna do that because. I don't know. I think I'll get too fatigued if I just keep hearing the first 4 or 5 songs and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. So you gotta give the second half of the album a really solid chance, I find.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for our first impressions. Remember to come back in 1 week because we're gonna have our final review of this album. We're gonna be listening to this album backwards, forwards, all week, so we can soak it up and then get our actual opinions.
Yep.
Our final opinions. Anyway, guys, let us know what you thought of this album in the comments below. Remember to like if you like this video, subscribe if you really like us, and if you want to see more metal content, I'm TV Fish.
And I'm File Cell.
We'll see you guys later.